Hello, and welcome to the Nantucket Shorts Festival, Best of the Fest. I'm John Shea, and I'm honored to be your host again this year. Now, the Nantucket Shorts Festival was founded 8 years ago with the mission to create, to support, and to celebrate filmmakers from the Nantucket community. The idea was to give Nantucketers the opportunity to pick up a camera, create something of their own, and then to see it on the big screen. In October of 2013, the first Shorts Festival presented 12 films to a packed audience in the main theater of the Nantucket Dreamland. And since then, nearly 100 films have been submitted to the festival by local filmmakers, and we have hosted 6 sold-out screenings, all at the Dreamland. Films have come from every genre, including drama, comedy, documentary, animation. The filmmakers are of all ages. The projects have explored a variety of topics such as travel, grief, music, art, history, whatever turns you on. Every year, the audiences honor the work of these filmmakers. They hear how they came up with their ideas, how they brought their vision to life, and what challenges they faced along the way. And we're looking forward to bringing you a whole new series of films in October 2021 and continuing the tradition. So keep writing, keep filming, keep editing. In the meantime, here we are, pandemic 2020. We decided this was the perfect opportunity to look back at some of the best films from past years. So, the Nantucket Shorts Festival is proud to present the award-winning films from 2013 to 2019. Enjoy the show. I'll see you later.
Welcome to the story of the Underground Man. Many have tried to talk of the legend, but I know the real person. On the surface, he seems like a perfectly normal human. He's good-looking, well-kept, and highly intelligent. But underneath, there is a mystery looming. Tom has been building these hideaways since he was a kid. From tree houses to log cabins to underground dwellings, it has encompassed his life. The thing that amazes me the most about this story is the craftsmanship that his projects possess. He takes indigenous materials and builds these homes for little or no money and creates a masterpiece. Plus, he does it in some of the most beautiful places that people pay millions of dollars to live at. He finished building his first dwelling in the late 80s on the island. For years, he lived there unbothered. He was living his life perfectly peaceful without treading on anyone. Then one day, a nosy hunter stumbled across his home and just couldn't keep his mouth shut. He ran and told the authorities instead of moving on his way. The authorities really had no idea what to do about this thing. The guy really wasn't bothering anybody, but how could they let him stay? What if everyone started doing it? Yeah, right. Nobody can do what this guy does. His craft has taken a lifetime to perfect. The commitment and dedication it takes is overwhelming, not to mention just being alone in the woods with all those creatures out there. Now here is when the story gets interesting. Picture this, Tom has been evicted from his home and it hits the news. The Boston Globe does a story and Tom is painted as a modern-day Thoreau. For a brief minute, he had public consensus on his side. The David Letterman show was interested in him, and reporters were swooning from all over. He may have come off as a bit cross, as many artists do. Unfortunately, this scared the hell out of everyone, and he sent them all packing. So the story fizzled out, and just when you thought he would crumble, little did anyone know he already had 2 backup dwellings ready, a treehouse and a log cabin. The log cabin was one of my personal favorites. It was masterfully crafted from pine trees that had fallen in the forest. He whittled them all down by hand and cleverly put it all together. It looked like a cool little Cape-style cottage. Well, ultimately the town got wind of this place and had to destroy it. Oh well, this was still no deterrent for Tom. He simply picked up and moved 200 yards away to his treehouse, which was right under their noses. Ironically, Tom spent many years undetected in this place, and it was the most obvious. He spent some crazy winters in there. I remember one winter we had an incredible storm with winds over 70 miles an hour. I was wondering what it was like for Tom. I can't believe he survived those storms. That is when I started developing a real respect for him. I also realized Tom's way with wildlife. He had a pet squirrel that was completely wild and he trained it.
Adults of the world get educated, even the children in the colleges too, brothers and sisters. Oh, did you hear me when I say, now that we have almost seen the light, we can't give up the fight. Let's not wait another night. Go out and tackle this plight. For the weak has become a might. Cause the horizon is near in sight. Thank you for the prophecy that we use as our guide. Oh, now we are on our way. We are on our road. We are going home. It's a brand new day.
That all the warnings I gave about simplicity is not falling on the ground, but somebody is catching up, getting smart, realize that the birds and man are one.
Quite a bit of time had gone by since Tom's run-ins with the law, and he was kind of flying under the radar at this point. He was also exploring the island for future spots to build at. He was on a roll at this point, and nothing was going to stop him.
This is Underground Tom, and today we're going on a little trespass. We're going to visit the Twig Loop out near Stump Pond. This is a unique part of the island. Little Fern Grotto. The changes of the season here was really remarkable to be first-hand witness, and then being so concealed, hardly anything or anyone, or certainly no one, knew I was here.
The Twig Loop was amazing. To me, this solidifies the folklore of the underground man.
It took me 2 years to weave this. But that was commuting from the treehouse, 5-mile bike ride out here. I've never seen anything like it. I had no inspiration. It's just something I saw in my dreams and had to do. With like any of my creations, they have to originate with a vision. I have to see the thing completed. It's a lifelong study, and I'm always learning. Every day I'm learning something new. It's a rare privilege.
After 4 years in the Twig Loop, it was time to move on. This time he built a log cabin treehouse, another amazing work of art right over a stream in a lush little forest right off of a main road. This dwelling to me is a culmination of all his past structures.
It's hidden art. It's never intended to be seen, but inevitably it will be. You might as well make it nice.
By now you can see this is no fluke and the guy is serious about it. All we know is he's still out there, but where?
Where am I? Tastes like Martha's Vineyard, only more exclusive. Didn't see me there, did you? That's because I'm Bear Bond, elite survivalist, and I'm here to show you how to survive on a deserted island if you have nothing at all. Say you're on a plane crash and the best has gone dodgy, but luckily you left your tray table up, so now you're the only survivor. Follow me as I show you how to survive in the first world environment that is Nantucket Island. Another thing you need to be sure that you know is that there are many, many, many species of wild animals in the wild. Some of them you want to beat the crap out of, but some of them you need to tame. They can be very, very useful for your survival. These leaves are full of roughage and fiber. Now I know all of you at home are saying, "Oh, Bear Bond, wouldn't we eat these if we wanted to survive?" No, you wouldn't. Fiber leads, in most cases, to severe diarrhea. Diarrhea leads to dehydration. Don't take the chance. Tall grass can either be a best mate or a real bugger. Lots of insects and bugs lurk in this lush forest, so be careful. Most plants also will prick your fingers, so don't stick your hand in too far. I've always found that exercise is one of the best things to do while you're surviving in the wild. If you have nothing to do and you're alone surviving, then exercising is basically the best thing you can do, because it makes you more alert, which you need to be if you're surviving. Everyone who survived in the forest will agree with me when I say that the worst thing is not encountering a bear, tiger, running out of food, water, but rather pulling a hammy in the forest by yourself. Now that I've told you what foods you should and should not eat while surviving in the wild, I need to show you how to make a sturdy shelter so that you don't have to spend the night vulnerable to the elements. Let's get working. When you think of a shelter in the wild, what comes to mind? Strength and endurance. This, even though it's made of sticks, is almost as hard as steel. This shelter is so cozy, it feels almost like a 5-star hotel in Vegas. The grass and dirt under you feel like a bed, and it'll help you sleep at night when you need to be energetic for the next day. Yeah, I need to explore the surrounding terrain to see if there's anything I can use to help me survive. Behind the house, I found a driveway that leads to a road. I'm hoping it leads to a bigger civilization, so I'm gonna go down it. Try and keep up. The natives of this island are actually very advanced in their building skills. I found an actual shop-like building when I was looking through the town. It's filled with clothes and other things to keep you warm, and the natives will spare no expense for it. Shelter on this island seems to have a market all to itself, with structures being transferred between the natives constantly, almost like a form of currency. Crikey, are those prices in lira? Daily, I've observed these natives gathering around what seems to be their version of a Serengeti watering hole. Though a bit unruly, they do manage to organize themselves into something of a serving line. Let's watch as they work out the pecking order of who gets served first. Here you see clear evidence that over the centuries, this tranquil island has been subject to invasion by all manner of barbarian hordes. The Goths, the Visigoths, the Vikings, the Vandals, and the worst of all, the New Yorkers. It appears these natives have built majestic structures to worship their gods. A clear example of a...
Get out of the road! I'm late for my reservations at Lola's!
Some survivalists will tell you that food, shelter, and water are the only things you need to survive. But even that bugger Robinson Crusoe knew that the real key to long-term survival is companionship. The natives on this island seem to seek it out here, some more successfully than others. I'll see if they let me participate. But first, I need to practice up on some ritualized dancing skills. Where am I? Clearly, this beautiful island has much to offer in the way of civilized indulgences, but perhaps the true beauty is simply the land and the sea that surrounds it if you take a quiet moment to experience it.
Easy streets, Nantucket. Should be called miserable, difficult, hard to navigate, jam-packed street. Welcome to Nantucket.
Get your ass off the road. Get rid of that damn phone.
Jesus, where did you get your license? Disneyland?
Asshole. beautiful, bucolic, picturesque Main Street, Nantucket. It's like a film set. It's surreal. And with all the money out here, you think they'd be able to pave the roads. Ah, you didn't even stop. You didn't even use your blinker. Oh my God. Jeez, you can't give anybody the finger on Nantucket, even though they certainly deserve it sometimes. Because, I mean, they could be going to town too. The island's just too small. It's like, oh, you're going to town. Oh, you're going up Main Street. Oh, you're going to the pharmacy too. Oh, we're buying our kids ice cream. All right, we're number one. That's what I meant to say. Oh, the joys of driving on Main Street in Nantucket. Oh, hey guys, here's a little advice when you're navigating the cobblestones of Main Street. Tell your wife or girlfriend to leave the heels at home, unless they want to snap an ankle. Our roads may appear as narrow as a one-way road or perhaps as small as a donkey path in many parts of the world. But not here. Here, they're two-way streets. Our rotaries. We have these instead of those ugly traffic lights. You know, there's not a traffic light on the entire island, except for this one that Tom brings to just freak people out once in a while. I think he's doing a good job. In fact, he's freaking me out. Tom? Tom? Well, we actually have 4 rotaries, 2 real ones, and we place them close to one another just for your convenience. And a fake one that nobody knows what the heck to do with, so we just kind of make up our own rules. And the 4th one's here in Sconset, and it's really quite quaint because, after all, it is Sconset. We have a beautiful flagpole and little bits of grass here and there, and beautiful little tiny non-garish signs which remind you which direction to go around the rotary, and of course, some beautiful hydrangeas. Barbara, these need some water. Barbara, can you talk to Todd the pool boy? These need water. Once you've mastered our narrow local roads, our crazy cobblestone Main Street, and our rotaries, you, my friend, are ready for the ultimate Nantucket driving challenge. You are ready for 5 corners, or as I like to call it, the cluster fork. Hey, the rules for navigating 5 corners are really quite simple. The first car that arrives goes first, second, third, and so on. In fact, these great little hand conversations take place as everyone's at the corners, like, everything works perfectly until August arrives, and some of the locals, if you screw up,
oh my God, what a douchebag! Oh my God, what did you just do?
what?
That's awesome! Where did you get that?
That's just something I've been working on.
I want one, yeah!
All right, on Thursday. Hey, hopefully I've given you some tips on how you too can safely navigate around the streets of... Hopefully I've given you some tips on how you too can safely navigate around the streets of Nantucket. Guys, we're gonna have to wait till like November or December to do this, guys. We're a December stroll. Maybe, hopefully I've given you some... Forget it. Just forget it.
Okay, this is gonna be on TV, so don't mess up. No pressure. Lots of pressure. Lights, camera, action.
Hello, and welcome to What's New on ECK. My name is Mandrew Comfarty. Oh. My name is Andrew Cromartie, and today we are starting off with an interview. So please welcome none other than Lisa Cheese. Lisa.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So I heard you're partnering with Skippy Peanut Butter, is that right?
That's right, yes. I actually plan on increasing the peanut butter the peanut butteriness by 340. How's that there again? I plan on increasing the peanut butteriness by 342%, yes.
Wow.
I do. I've done my research from Thomas Edison to Michael Jackson, and I've even purchased George Washington Carver's shoes from eBay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So is it all peanuts?
It's all peanuts. Like peanuts, just thousands and millions of peanuts.
Thousands and millions of peanuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, right.
Yeah, this is the culmination of my life's work. My soul is a peanut.
Cut. Let's go from yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Where is your Nantucket office located?
It's actually 3 trees past Pulpus Harbour. If you go past the smell of the hot dog, you've gone too far.
Hot dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but you've got to keep an eye out for the Italian stray cats.
Interesting.
Cut. Okay, we'll just skip that part and come back to it, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go from page 2, question 3.
Okay.
Action.
So, what brought you to Nantucket?
I first came to Nantucket because I was drawn because of the lampshades. I really like lampshades. And I also like the beaches.
Me too. I think that's what makes Nantucket so beautiful.
Yeah, so many lampshades.
Yeah.
It is. It's
And
very,
beaches.
very picturesque. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Cut. Take 5 minutes to get your heads on straight, and I'll be right back.
Let's just go from the top. Hello, and welcome to What's New on Eck. I'm Andrew Cromartie, and today we're starting off with an interview done with none other than Lisa Getter. Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the show. Lisa.
Jeff is the enemy.
We'll be right back after this break. Well, that sure was interesting.
Wasn't it?
Thank you for joining us for another low-budget presentation of What's New on Eck. I'm Andrew Cromartie. Buenas noches.
Cancer. Yeah, that's the story. That's it.
Downer song, downer song, downer song.
Man, that's depressing. Hooray. That's depressing.
This is a story about change. No, not that kind of change. Personal change. My personal change. Or should I say, my life 180. In 2010, I made a random decision that drastically altered the course of my life. To explain. I had been living in New York City for the last 12 years, in this apartment building in the East Village. Here's me in front of that very building on the day I moved out. Things were okay, but I had this underlying sense that I needed a change. 12 years in the East Village and I felt lost. I was empty. This is me on the rooftop of my apartment, spray painting my new $1,000 bike to appear old and crappy so it didn't get stolen. And just for the record, I had a total of 8 bikes stolen in New York. I knew I needed to do something drastic. I needed a change. I wasn't sure what it was, but my New York life just wasn't cutting it for some reason. I was reading books about happiness, self-help, existentialism, just to try and figure it out. At that time, my New York life was all about one thing: my band, The Sweet Ones. Here's us playing the Living Room, a great club that closed a month after this very show. I guess like everything cool, it eventually ends. I love the Sweet Ones. I put 9 years of my life into that band. We made 3 records, and a 4th that's still sitting on this hard drive on my desk. At this point, it's important to tell you that I also had a very different occupation in New York. As you can see, I was a commercial actor. And like most actors in New York, I've been trying to support myself through catering and other mindless temp jobs since moving to the city in 1998. But by 2010, I was actually starting to support myself with national commercials.
You might not realize how much of your life is on your computer. Then he said to me, "What about you, Dad?"
And just for comedic purposes,
Then he said to me, "What about you, Dad?"
Little did I know those words would come to be fortuitous. Then, one early spring night in a bar in Brooklyn, my friend told me he was going out to Nantucket for a gig, and that's when it started. To this day, I'm not sure why or what actually possessed me, but I decided to go out with him. And that was it. The Nantucket seed had been planted. So I packed up my things, and I moved to Nantucket for the summer. I should mention that housing was still a problem back in 2010, so the only thing I could find was this old shed for rent. A shed! Who'd have thought, right? So I rented it. Hell, I should have bought the thing. It'd be worth millions now. To keep myself busy, I made videos for my friends and family back home to document my experience.
Forms of elegance here. We have the sink. The water runs, turns on. This is the best part. Look at that. Who needs drains, right? Right into the soil. Right? And that's pretty much it. So that was just to give you an idea of Whack Shack Live. We'll check in a little. I'll hopefully have some more pictures and blogs about what's going on in the Whack Shack life. We'll check in with you a little later.
It was a soul-searching period of my life. Having left my world in New York City to live in a shed and start working as a landscaper was a scary contrast. It wasn't until I got invited to a birthday party that things really changed. That's where I met Amy. We hit it off immediately. I have to say, looking back on it now, it was effortless. We totally got along, and Nantucket started to make total sense to me. I fell in love with Amy and got introduced to an amazing community of people. It's amazing what love can do. Fall, I went back to New York, and Amy and I continued to date. We both went back and forth between Nantucket and New York. I have to say, it was perfect. I spent summers in Nantucket, and in the fall I went back to New York. But the challenge that Amy and I had in front of us was going to be a true relationship tester, and now looking back on it, a huge part of my life 180. To explain, in the winter of 2013, I began to feel sick. I noticed I was having a lot of trouble singing. Something was wrong, but I wasn't sure what it was. I had no energy, and I was lying in bed all day. I kept thinking I had some sort of weird virus that just wouldn't go away. I went to a throat doctor who started treating me for acid reflux, but I continued to feel and get more sick. I knew something was wrong. Having been sick for almost a year, I finally went back to the throat doctor and told him, "Look, something's wrong. Can you please help me?" In the spring of 2013, I got diagnosed with stage 1/2 papillary thyroid cancer. My worst nightmare had come true. I underwent a full thyroidectomy. This is me a few days after my surgery. The experience of being diagnosed with cancer is brutal. It's transformative. I don't know if you ever fully recover from it mentally. I spent the first few weeks recovering and then headed out to Nantucket. The island and its community was a big part of my recovery process. Life post-cancer found Amy and I even more committed to each other. She got me through cancer, and I could not have done it without her. And I'll take this part of the film to say a public thank you and I love you. As if cancer wasn't enough of a surprise, Amy and I got the ultimate surprise. Piper Jane Cody was born January 18th, 2015. At this point, for me, the writing was on the wall for my life in New York. Piper was almost the completion of my Life 180. The full completion came with our wedding. Yeah, I know we did it backwards. We had the kid and then the wedding. I just like to think that Amy and I are really progressive. In 2016, Amy and I got married in our front yard with Piper in tow. Real change takes time. Life takes time. But when you are patient and open, anyone can have a Life 180. I took a chance, and I got the best Life 180 a man could ask for. Life 180s are all around us. We just have to listen to our hearts and trust in the power of change.
My grandfather, a lawyer, he said, son, be an architect, just watch the world get built. And since they both retired, they sit around uninspired. They worry about their money and how hard they work for it. It's
Aim rolled it. Let's say hi to him. I got it on video. Hi, bud.
Oh, you look like Duncan. Hi. I only have one horn.
So you ate a bunch of scallops.
Right where the sewer leak is. I just was so hungry. I don't know what came over me, Doc.
And you said you're feeling sick and dizzy?
Sick and dizzy, yeah.
Right.
All the time, ever since I ate. It's just been sick and dizzy nonstop. I go to bed sick and dizzy. I wake up sick and dizzy. I call my mom sick and dizzy.
All right. Have you been to any funny countries?
Funny like
different. How about, have you been bitten by a mosquito?
No mosquito.
Exchanged bodily fluids maybe with someone named Melissa?
No, Melissa, no.
Or if you sat down on the toilet on the High Line?
The High Line, no. The steamship, yes. Is that, do you think that could be think it could be that?
Let me ask you this. Have you contributed to our hospital fund?
Doc, I'm a little confused here. What does that have anything to do with what?
A donation or a contribution?
A donation?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. What if I didn't make a donation? What does that have to do with anything? No, Doc, it's the scallops. I'm saying I ate the scallops right after the sewer leak. The same day.
Okay.
I went into the harbor. I dove. I grabbed the scallops. I knew what I was doing.
I'll be back in a minute. Make that 45 because I'm tired and I need to take a nap. And why don't you try to stay warm with these magazines and have a good day.
And you're just gonna leave me hanging? I don't understand why you're leaving. I feel like I'm dying here. I ate something. I know it was. It was poopy scallops in the harbor. The sewage leaked out. I think I ate a little bit of sewage with it. It was really crunchy. Yes, it tasted good, but still I feel horrible, Doc. I feel horrible. I feel like I'm gonna die. I don't even know. I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone to talk to, okay?
You know, you look a little bit blue.
Doc, I feel blue. Is there anything you can do? I'm fading. Doc?
I don't think so.
Doc? Doc?
Andrew? Are you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Somebody call a nurse.
This is complete and utter bullshit.
Let's try and keep a positive attitude.
Anytime anyone tells you to keep a positive attitude, you know it's complete and utter bullshit.
You don't have to talk so loudly.
I'll talk as loudly as I goddamn please.
You'll disturb the others.
Disturb the others? They need to be disturbed. Any kind of brain activity at all would be a blessing to most of them.
Don't say that.
You know it's true, and I know you're paid to pretend that it isn't true, but it's true, and that's that.
Other people are enjoying themselves. Look at Mrs. Davis.
Mrs. Davis would enjoy herself if you parked her in front of a brick wall for 6 hours. Although, 50 years ago, that's a piece of tail that would have been all over.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Pretending. That's your job, pretending. Pretending you don't see, pretending you don't hear, pretending you don't feel. And you're pretty damn good at all three.
My job is helping. My job is being kind and considerate and understanding.
And ass wiping. Don't forget the ass wiping. I bet that's what you'd hope you'd learn in school. Wiping the wrinkled asses of old geezers who can't reach back there without falling off the goddamn toilet.
Is this really necessary?
Is what really necessary?
Being this unpleasant? It's New Year's Eve. Tomorrow is a new day, a new year.
And what else? I'll tell you what else. It's a new goddamn nothing. That's what else. And half of the people here for their New Year's resolution would be to die in my sleep tonight.
No, they won't. This is a vibrant community of senior citizens who have led full, productive lives and who are entitled to enjoy all the benefits of their golden years.
Jesus Christ. Did you memorize that from the brochure? You must have. No normal person would talk like that.
What I'm saying is, no one here would make the type of New Year's resolution that you just talked about.
Oh, no? Every time the EMS unit shows up, people can't wheel themselves into the lobby fast enough. Who is it now? They're like a bunch of seals watching one of their own being dragged off into the surf by a killer whale. There goes Marge. Oh, it's Joe's turn this time. They're all jostling around the electric wheelchairs, trying to see who's getting carried out of here, knowing that any day now it's going to be them on that stretcher.
That's a little morbid, don't you think?
No. What's morbid is every time the lobby fills up with those flashing red and blue lights, and every time you hear the EMS guys squawking on the radios, half of these poor sons of bitches wish it was them with a sheet over their face. What's the matter? Nothing perky and upbeat to say?
Mr. Hollins, I don't understand why you have to be like this.
Because I'm pissed off, that's why. It's New Year's goddamn Eve, and look at me. Am I dressed up? Am I dancing? Am I popping open a bottle of champagne? No. I'm sitting here in the lobby of the goddamn Parkview Retirement Home with a limp pecker and a clear head. Son of a bitch.
Mr. Hollins, may I get you a brownie or some nuts?
And what time is it? Please be so kind as to tell me what goddamn time it is.
It's 10 minutes to 12.
Oh, that's good. 10 minutes to 12, she says.
That is the correct time. What do you want me to say?
Technically, yes, but you know it isn't 10 minutes to 12.
Oh, look. The Barry Manilow impersonator is about to go on. You know, he's opening with At the Copacabana.
It's 10 minutes to goddamn noon, not midnight, noon. You think I don't know that? It's the middle of the goddamn day.
I'm aware of that.
Then why are we here? The new year isn't for another 12 hours, so why are we here pretending it starts in 10 minutes?
I'm not going to let you bait me. You know very well why.
Because we're old, because we can't stay up that late at night, and because our medications will get out of whack.
That's right. And rather than having no New Year's celebration at all, we thought it would be fun to have it at noon instead. Lots of retirement places do this.
You know something? When you get to a point in your life when you have to celebrate New Year's Eve at noon, someone should have the decency to put a goddamn bullet through your head.
Stop that. This is a good thing. People are enjoying themselves. It's a treat. They get some sparkling grape juice. They get to wear a paper hat. It's fun.
What are you doing tonight?
I'm going to a party.
With who?
My boyfriend.
You gonna drink?
In moderation.
And what are you gonna drink?
Champagne, I suppose.
And what are you gonna eat?
You want me to run through the entire menu?
I want you to run through the goddamn menu.
All right, well, I don't know, probably some shrimp, maybe some caviar, some cheese, some appetizer, you know, finger food type things.
Okay, so you eat, you drink, it's midnight, the ball drops in Times Square, and then what happens?
I don't know, I guess we'll...
Are you gonna get laid?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Why the hell not?
Because that's none of your business, that's why not.
I just feel better about this whole New Year's Eve business if I knew that one of us was gonna get laid.
You're trying to goad me and I'm not gonna let you. Here, let's blow our noisemakers. Fine, then how about a hat?
You gotta be kidding me.
Other people are wearing hats?
Other people are wearing diapers too.
Fine, don't wear a hat.
One hat, one question.
What's the question?
First the hat, then the question. Thank you. Now I look as stupid as everybody else.
What's your question?
That boyfriend of yours, is he any good in a sack?
Give me that!
No, we had a deal.
No, we didn't.
One hat equals one question.
I'm not responding.
It's a funny thing with men. Some guys get it up and they can go all night. And other guys, one shot and they're through, straight to sleep. Which one is your boyfriend?
I said you could ask a question. I never said I would answer it.
Straight to sleep, huh?
Listen, rather than worrying about my sex life, why don't you hook up with Mrs. Kavanaugh? She just got her hair done and her nails done, and best of all, she's got Alzheimer's, so she won't remember whether you could get it up or not. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was a horrible, horrible thing to say.
That's all right.
Please don't tell anyone I said that.
I'm not a blabbermouth.
I appreciate that.
I've got some common sense.
I know you do.
But I like the way you think.
Oh, please, no, not Mrs. Kavanaugh, you can't.
I have about as much interest in banging Mrs. Kavanaugh as I have in banging a dried out gourd.
Good. I mean, no, that's not good. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
Let me tell you something. When I was 12 years old, what I wanted more than anything else in the world was to bang a beautiful 18-year-old girl. And when I was 18, same thing. 28, same thing. 58, the same thing. And today, same thing. You think that feeling will go away, and then after a while, you pray to God it will go away, and eventually you pretend that it has, you know. just to make everyone else feel better. But it never goes away. It's a hell of a thing to want to live when you should already be dead.
Mr. Hollins, I don't want you to feel this way.
That makes two of us.
What do you want?
Want? I want to feel the little burn of the bubbles when the first glass of champagne slides down my throat. Maybe some caviar on toast. And I want the girl I'm with to edge closer to me so that I can feel her warmth, smell the sandalwood perfume she has on, and feel the curl of her fingers as midnight is only a minute away. And I want to know that this year, more than any other year, is going to be the best goddamn year of my life. That's what New Year's Eve is all about. Not this. It's not this.
Oh, no.
I don't want to see this. I want you to have a good time at your party.
Oh, I'll do my best.
But promise me you won't listen to Barry Manilow.
Oh, I will not listen to Barry Manilow. I'm going to bring you back some of that champagne.
We're not supposed to have champagne.
Well, that is complete and utter bullshit.
We were lucky enough to spend summers in Quidnet each year in the old life-saving station, also known as Humane House Number 61. In the 19th century, treacherous shoals and inclement weather led to over 700 shipwrecks around Nantucket, which became known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic. More than a dozen shacks were scattered around the island shoreline for shipwrecked mariners. Later on, life-saving boats were built and placed on the shore where the wrecks were most frequent. Eventually, structures were built to house these boats, which became known as humane houses. Summers in Quidnet were simple and fun. We had free rein for adventures: biking, sailing, swimming, games on the beach, and fishing. This is me. We caught a lot of bluefish, and ugh, the next day, my mother would make something called bluna fish, which none of us liked. This is a story about a story that we were told when we were children. We always thought it was a ghost story, but it turns out that it is really a love story about coming home to Nantucket. The story of Dr. Winslow's heart would usually be told to us while we were gathered around the fire on a dark and stormy night. Charles F. Winslow was born in a house on India Street in 1811 when the American flag had only 15 stars and James Madison was president. When he died, the flag had 38 stars and Ulysses S. Grant was president. In 1811, there were 6,807 people living on Nantucket. The Nantucket Enquirer was first published in 1821. The Great Fire wiped out most of town in 1846. In 1855, Dorcas Honorable, the last Native American Indian, died. And, of course, Nantucket was the whaling capital of the world. Dr. Winslow had a natural curiosity about the world. He was trained by his loving mother, Phoebe Winslow, in such a manner that he quickly outdistanced every other pupil in the Nantucket School. In 1834, he graduated from Harvard Medical School. He became a doctor, a lawyer, and an advanced student of astronomy and the nature of the universe. He spent time in many far-flung places, including the Hawaiian Islands, Tahiti, Chile, and California. He married Lydia Coffin Jones and became one of the island's most prominent physicians. After his wife's death in 1874, Dr. Winslow made his will, and it was unique. I request, order, and command that, if in the course of 8 and 40 hours it be positively proved that I am dead,
my heart shall be removed from my body by a competent anatomist, placed in a strong glass vessel having a ground glass stopper, and that this vessel be immediately filled for the purpose of embalming my heart with a saturated solution of muriate of ammonia. I order this vessel put in a thick oak box made just to size, and the box saturated with coal tar. This I wish enclosed in a plain pine case and buried in the south of Newtown burying ground on the island of Nantucket where I was born. My dear father lies by my mother's side, and a single stone records their final resting place. Thus may this sacred spot be known where I wish my heart to rest. I order that my body be burned and placed in the same grave at Mount Auburn in Boston, which contains the precious remains of my great, dear, and beloved wife. Signed, Dr. Charles F. Winslow.
His instructions were carried out, and there is evidence that he may have been the first person in the West to be cremated. His ashes are buried with Lydia on Mound Avenue at Mount Auburn in Boston under some very tall and old trees. There are 9 town-owned cemeteries on Nantucket, and they are just about completely full. You might be familiar with some of them, such as the Quaker Burial Ground, which has over 5,000 Quakers in it, stacked like dominoes, but only 56 tombstones. The Quakers did not believe in earthly bonds or frivolous ornamentation. I often wonder what they would think of Nantucket today. As children, we would go visit Dr. Winslow's grave and maybe leave a shell or some flowers. The grave marker, then flush with the ground, was easy to find. I had not been there in many years when last summer my friend James and I set out to find it one night. We had no luck. Intrigued, I went back the next afternoon, and after some more looking, was able to find the parents' tombstone, which had toppled over onto the ground. I was about to give up on finding the marker for Dr. Winslow's heart when I fell backwards into a hole, and there it was, completely grown over. I came back here, and look at this. Look what I found. I found it. It's buried under the ground. Charles F. Winslow.
You don't think we're going to get arrested, do you?
It depends how long this takes. The reason we know that the story is true is that Edward Rowe Snow, a student of New England maritime history, researched and wrote about it. In the 1940s, he came to the island to verify the story. Most of the islanders he asked had never heard of Dr. Winslow's heart, but enough had that he was able to investigate further. He obtained permission to have the caretaker of the Newtown Cemetery use an iron prod to poke around the ground at the foot of the parents' grave, and, not too far down, he hit a hard object that was the size of a small box. They dug it up and opened it, and inside was a smaller box holding the glass vessel with Dr. Winslow's heart, exactly as he had so long ago instructed. In an autumn issue of the Enquirer and Mirror in 1947, there was a small article about the mystery that read, Dr. Winslow died on 1877, in Salt Lake City, and had sent his heart across the country to be buried at his native Nantucket. An anonymous Nantucket resident admitted that he buried the heart at midnight one autumn night in 1878. With that admission, the case has been marked closed. You know how when someone dies, we're told, but you'll always have the memories? Well, that's true, but only for a generation or two. After that, we have only the stories, and the stories must be told in order for them to stay alive and not to completely disappear.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave our worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
Attendant that keeps an eye on the take it or leave it, the drop off for people bringing things that aren't ready for the dump, but that somebody might want to find a new life or a new home for. I open it, I close it, I kind of keep an eye on things, answer questions if people have any, tell them about what they can and can't leave.
I need a little table. Does anybody see a little table? Little, like a stool.
Well, the weekends are our busiest time. We open at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is when the regulars, the locals who really know that there's good stuff on the weekends show up.
I have been coming here every day for years, and there are always a few others who come every day too.
Let's say that the people I see here every day are normally not the people that I would find in my social circle on the island.
Does anybody want some bike tire wheels?
Are they any good?
They're good. They're good, yeah.
You're kidding, of course.
I can't wait to get in and see those finds that weren't there the day before.
We try to keep things fairly organized. That's one of the things that I'll do before I open up in the morning.
She's sorting out the tables. People are putting the wrong stuff on the wrong tables. They got AV equipment on two tables. They're supposed to have AV equipment on one table and glass on the other.
You know what?
Is that the way it works?
That's all right.
Do the printers count
I think
as
it'll be
AV?
okay.
They're so eager to get in, and they're so happy to see me when I arrive and open that chain. So I welcome them all.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you for being here.
It's about time.
Good morning.
I look for anything that's complete. You know, I want a set. I don't want to get half of something. A lot of people drop off half a game or a puzzle with pieces missing. That does me no good. So I try to find things that are complete, two of the same glasses. If I find two VCRs that are the same, I'm going to take it. That's a set.
I'm an artist, so I look for inspiration in terms of anything that I could use as a prop, anything that I might be able to use in a collage.
I have things. You know, I just like the thrill of maybe uncovering some little nugget or treasure. Why not?
Today I would be finding some things that my clients would be willing to pay some good money for. Could be little house parts, could be auto parts.
Isn't that cute? Doesn't that remind you
Hey,
of like a...
what are you doing?
It's nice to see people, but you know, they're kind of a pain in the ass too.
It's getting
Isn't that
real
cute?
over here. No, I don't like
You
it.
don't like it? It reminds me of my grandmother's. We were all in shock.
If just put a sign out that said that they're going to start selling this stuff, that is just completely.
I can understand them wanting to make a buck to try to pay for this thing, but that's breaking tradition right there.
This is supposed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people over here, right? It's all free, free, free.
I'm sure there's an explanation.
This is absolutely unacceptable behavior. I mean, they obviously came to this decision without any input from the community.
How are they going to charge for half of a salad server?
Take it or leave it has been in for how long? 20, 25 years, 30 years, 40 years? From the old dump.
We will just ask.
You could
because
ask.
that's the best thing to do.
It's just another dig to the community. That's how I see it.
If we just ask, we can negotiate.
No, we have got to come up with some kind of plan to counterattack. I think the artist is kind of bossy.
Wait a minute. Aren't we missing someone?
What the?
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Come on. It's okay.
Did you see this?
Here we go. We saw it.
Did you see? When I saw that sign, I thought, what the hell? It's like the take it or leave it, not the take it and shove it up your...
You know, it can be a little scary sometimes, and I'm always saying, go over there.
He goes by loose cannon because there's nothing that makes him happy.
He's possibly dangerous, I think.
He's maybe started 16 fistfights.
I keep my distance.
When you see him in town, just don't call him loose cannon.
We are going to take it upon ourselves. We're going to put together a plan.
She said we should talk to someone first.
No, forget it. I am totally beside myself about this, and it has to be stopped, or it has to be countered in some way.
Why does she care if there's a take it or leave it or not? I mean, she can go to the yacht club or something, where she's got nothing to do. She can make a basket.
I have spearheaded this plan to counter this ridiculous policy.
That's when we decided to come up with a plan.
Arthur, thank you. Thank you, you're a doll. All right. We have a piece of property.
Well, she's got a little bindi, if you know what I'm talking about. So she's gonna put aside a little land, and then we start our own enterprise.
I would love to build it myself because, you know, that's what I do. All we need really is a nice slab, maybe like a carport roof.
I would be responsible for a beautiful garden. A beautiful garden outside would make it equally attractive.
I'm gonna provide the goats because I'm a goat farmer. We need security, we need hours, we need protocol, and we need protection. And that's what the goats are for.
Just before Labor Day, I'm coming here. I'm going to grab everything I can. To
Everything.
Everything that's good. If there's not a pair, I'm not taking it.
Not at all.
Right.
They don't know it, but I'm kind of the smartest one in the whole group. Can I name a goat?
Somehow, in a strange way, we have assembled this group of people who all have different talents.
I just say, are we in? Are we in?
Yes!
We are in.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. See, stuff.
Okay.
Go.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
Let's go.
Okay,
Come on.
go.
All right, my friends, that's it for today. We'll see you later.
See you later, sweetheart.
You'll see us later.
This changes everything. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Let's go. We got lots to talk about.
All kinds of things.
I know.
Setting up a bigger and better.
I can't believe no one took this sandwich board. It's in such perfect shape. I think I'm gonna take it. Wait.
Crying out loud.
Well, never mind. I guess everything's just the same as it was at the beginning of the day. It's just no better, no worse.
I guess you could say the dream has died.
We're all smart. So I'm going to keep coming here.
You know, I initially had said we should have asked.
The goats are ready to go, and they take the sign away, and all of a sudden our plan comes crumbling down because this dump is going to stay the dump.
Arthur. Yeah, it's me. Forget it. Yeah, drop the sale. It's over. Yeah, right.
Well, the garden was a stupid idea anyway.
No. It was a great idea.
It was a beautiful idea.
It was vengeance.
It
Rufus. That would have been my name, Rufus.
Rufus?
Yeah,
For the goat.
Yeah, Rufus.
I still think this place is a bunch of bastards.
Looking back on the whole experience, I have to say that I kind of made a new circle of friends. And let's face it, I would never come in contact with these people if it weren't for this crazy thing that we do together. A round of lattes on everyone. Okay?
Oh, that's so lovely of you.
Let's go.
Yay. Okay. Come on, let's go.
You'll find out.
I'm parked over here.
I'm over there.
It's a pretty jovial place. Sometimes people fight over things, you know. Sometimes people are swooping in before people have a chance to unload.
Once you cross the chain, you throw your friend hat out the window because it's all fair game. But otherwise, once on this side of the chain, we're all good friends. It's different when you enter the chain.
Are you okay? Are you okay? People!
There she is! There she is!
Hey, hope you enjoyed watching those remarkable films, and we hope that it has inspired the filmmaker in you, because we believe that everybody has a story to tell. And here at NCTV, we're here to support the island community and help you bring your story to the screen. So, on behalf of myself and everybody involved with the Nantucket Shorts Festival, we thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you more films by local filmmakers in 2021. See you soon.